All right. Shalom, Yashala. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Waharakakwadash Brakathum. I like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Achaeon pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Aquat that they're listening. And what I have here on the screen is E, doing what they do. And also the water to Elder Yashwambi has sent me this video, man. And when you can't simply align who Edom is out of the scriptures to what's going on now, man, you're cooked, really. Okay, there's no getting away from this. Okay, the scriptures are once again, the scriptures first and foremost will always remain undefeated. Okay, but once you can't really see the connection with prophecy and what's before your eyes, bro, you're cooked, man. I just really want to express that, but I'm gonna let the excerpt of this clip play, and I'm gonna get some scriptures.
The moon base will not appear overnight. We will invest approximately $20 billion over the next 7 years and build it through dozens of missions, working together with commercial and international partners towards a deliberate and achievable plan. Just as there was Mercury and Gemini before Apollo, there will be an evolutionary path to building humanity's first permanent surface outpost beyond Earth. And we will take the world along with us as they follow along on the NASA Moonbase website and watch the assembly through lunar relay and observation satellites. At the same time, NASA will never give up its presence in low Earth orbit.
And E is very proud too, as if though as this thing is going to continue. Matter of fact, that made me think of let me see. Hey, what my man say? He said they will never give over. That they will never give over the lower space, right, of the earth, right, is what he ended off on, right? And this is Psalms 49 verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Okay, so this guy is one of many. It's not just one Edomite, okay, but it's just one of many, who has this inward thought. Because look at all the mindset of you see the language and the behavior and the pattern of E, just being very boastful, farewell into past 2030. We don't even know if all out warfare I'm speaking of could possibly start tonight. And E's mindset is what? Well, by 2030, it's going to take 27. I'm Salakia. By 2030, it's what? It's not going to happen overnight, is what he stated. But they're they really have it in their mind that they're going to have a moon base or what have you, and because they bragged about trying to plant turnips in space and so forth. I mean, bro, you got space trash, bro. This is clearly who the scriptures are talking about, and I'm about to get the scripture that backs that up. Which all the scriptures that I'm getting right now is backing up. The point of the video is like, bro, this is that man, bro. This is Edom, okay. And if you don't, if you don't get that from this video, that's fine. That's something for you to work out. Okay, that's something for you to pray on. You know, we're convinced over here. Okay, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, that is. This is Obadiah, verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. That's because Esau is always he's always obsessed with space. Space this, space that. You got Jeff Bezos that who does his little experimental thing, you know, with the space device that he had with you know, these celebs who paid, you know, whatever they paid to so-called, you know, get close to the moon or what have you, or to space or whatever, right? Okay, let me reread that in its entirety. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And he stated what? Well, we'll never give up. You know, the Lord has different plans for you guys, man. Verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. Okay? So these plans are not going to come to they're not going to be fruitful, man. In E's mind, you know, everything, you know, that's been done in the past, they believe they will be able to mirror, you know, years down the road, which that's not the case. Like everybody sees what's going on, but you know, right now, the state of delusion, you know, is heavy, and you know, and pride, delusion, and entitlement, I could say is probably yeah, I said those probably the big three right there. Pride, entitlement, and delusion. You know, I may just possibly name this video that, right? This is verse 5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? Okay, what they came exactly for. If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? In other words, E is here to destroy, bro. E is anything E touches. There's no good that comes for that, really. You know. Once again, this is temporal, man, and once again, this is E's kingdom, and this is captivity. Okay. Cause first and foremost, that nigga's he's just a greedy person, bro. He is a greedy person. He doesn't show any empathy, you know. And that's just point blank. We see how they're moving in all the administrations. Okay, that's something to be very mindful of too, Akiam. All the administrations. Trump's not the only Edomite. You know. Who's the best and who's the worst? Look, all these niggas are terrible. Okay. You know, all 47 and so forth, man. Okay. Bear with me, Baba Kushah. Yeah, so verse number 5, well, all the verses are very telling. But especially verse number 5, bro. It is very telling as to how E moves. You know, there's no dancing around the fact, hey, this individual, he a fool with it, man. And and not in a good way, you know. So E, E is come for the taking, you know. But hey, that's how he was designed. That's how he's set up. He's on the left hand side as well. So that's to be expected, right? This nigga really like these niggas are obsessed with the moon, but the scriptures explain that. Verse 3 again. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. So they're always going to be infatuated and obsessed with space and higher dwellings per se. Okay. So says Yahweh Bashem Shah, right? If y'all could bear me Babako Shah, I believe Micah's where I want to go next. Hey, woe to those who oppress the poor. Okay, so this nigga never stops, man. Because usually when E does when E makes moves, bro, I'll never forget it was a PBS special. If there's ever another, which there will be through the spirit we believe, if there's another pandemic, I'll never forget they stated always most times rather than not, Jake will always be affected the most. Okay, Jake will always be affected the most. Okay, so we see how this administration is moving right now. The wickedness that's just really just been exposed. It's always been exposed, but it's just really under that bright light right now, right? So it's under that bright light. So all this wickedness E is doing in space and around the earth and to the 12 tribes and so forth. Hey, it's destruction for them. Okay, this is verse Salakia. This is Micah chapter 2 verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Okay, what is iniquity? It's wickedness, man. And it's plain as day, right? It is plain as day. Okay. Let me reread that in its entirety. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand, which the Most High has allowed. First and foremost, that's also something to always be mindful of, to Akiam and Akwat out there. Okay, this is only happening because the Most High has allowed it to be an example of how, when given power, how not to be, right? And this is a lesson well learned, because this captivity sucks. Okay, of course our ancestors, who dealt with what they dealt with, that sucked as well. Okay, we don't have to be there to know that. Just the slipping is, man, the books, Salakia, books and history, man. Okay, whether it's being written down, passed off, or orally or so forth. Hey, we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah who this woe is directed at. Okay. Verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. So just in theory, let's just say, it's another place, because you got the moon base, but if he just sets his eyes on it, this nigga just goes over there, bro. And that's why the Lord is going to destroy E, man. That's why Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, is going to destroy the so-called white man. Okay? This nigga is just, he's bad for business, man. He is, he's bad for business. Okay? He doesn't, bear me, Baba Kusha. Gonna get that next scripture should close out. Abaratazah, point has been made. If y'all could bear me, Baba Kusha. I believe the point's been made. Bear with me, Baba Kusha. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Okay? So the just is what? Talking about the elect. Okay? For the 2/3 of our people, when your spirit's not upright, you're going to be what? You're going to be judged. Point blank, period. But as far as you heathen, and that's including the so-called white man, first and foremost, man, the devil, that the scriptures speak of, he's out of there, man. He's out of there. I'll reread that again. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. All we have is Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. He has what? That pride, that delusion, and that entitlement I was just speaking of, right? And the scriptures clearly back that up. They give a very, very detailed description of who this nigga is, man. Verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. Neither keep at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. Yeah, building a moon base, that's not minding your business. That's being a damn demon. The hell you need to be in the space for? What has the moon done to you? Right? And is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Is that not what the so-called white man does and has done? Okay. So for you niggas who's going to bat for Esau, okay, that verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, because you got a lot of our people who still in that little kumbaya spirit, but they're gonna get a rude awakening, man. Okay. Because verse 4, is talking about but you niggas who want to be hand in hand with the so-called white man, hey, this also goes to you. Because if you sitting here trying to defend the so-called white man and thinking they just gonna be scot-free and not go through a judgment process such as we have, you're sadly mistaken, bro. That's why it says at the end of that verse, of verse 4, but the just shall live by his faith. Okay? We have faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. We have faith that this is the 100% truth. It has to be, man. Okay? It has to be. But this is aligned with E not keeping his ass at home, man. And his spirit is not being upright in him. So I just want to clarify that, make sure that's, that's very understood, because I threw that little 2/3 in there, or these so-called Christians, because Jake want to save E, but the hell with everybody else. And you Jake, who kissed the so-called white man's ass, bro, y'all's demise is going to be one for the books. Okay? Because E is pretty much giving you his ass, always been giving you his ass to kiss, but it's just super bold now. It's just super bold, And Jake, but Jake, I forgive. I've learned to forgive. All right. What the Lord, hey, Hey, the Lord just gonna let you, let you rock, and what you rock with is the consequence you're gonna be dealt with. Okay. But yeah, E doesn't keep his ass at home, man. That may be another title for it too. But Abba Ratazah, this has been edifying for the body. With that, once again, call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Waharakak Wadash Brakatham. Once again, I'd like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Akyam, pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Aquat that they're listening. Shalom.